Eat this.
Don't touch that dial. It's time for Tech Talk with Chad Hembree, featuring the latest and greatest in today's technology, with a little fun along the way.
Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Oh God, here we go again. Dork alert.
Hello and welcome to Tech Talk with Chad Hembree. I'm your host, Chad Hembree, and joining me at Mario's Pizza in Berea, Mr. Dean Buttrey. Thanks for being here, Dean. This is the beginning of our summer series. We'll be at Mario's every week, with the exception of a couple of field trips I've mentioned, and we'll announce those in plenty of time for the show and put it on the website. Mario's Pizza in Berea, please, you can Google it, find it easily. It's right off exit 76. You can also find it on my website, chadhembree.com. That's ChadHembree.com. Also, you can find it on Dean's business's website.
Yep, DB Solutions. The website is dbsolsinc.com. Find everything here at my company and the link over here to TechTalk.
And Dean's company is a full-service IT company, by the way, and he would love to hear from you if you have computer needs.
Yes, definitely. Give me a call if you need anything from your smartphone setup to computer repair, network setup, anything. You can find me on the web at the same website or on Facebook. Just give me a call or an email.
And that's true. Facebook, Twitter, whatever you go and you type our names, you'll probably find us. We're about everywhere. We had a pretty interesting weekend, don't you think?
Just a little.
Just a little bit? Well, you're wearing a shirt that kind of represents it there. And for our radio listeners, I'll just read it. It says Grand Sport, and it has a picture of a Corvette on it. And the reason why is because we spent the weekend at the Corvette plant and Corvette National Museum in Bowling Green, Kentucky, where we took a lot of footage, and on this show we'll be playing the audio and the video, of course, for those that get to watch it as well. And if you are just a radio listener, this is a show that you will want to go back to the internet and pull up the video to watch it. BreOnline.com, RichmondConnected.com are two sites that we play on, also YouTube as well, and our websites. But there's going to be a lot to see, and we were going to talk it out the best we can for our radio audience, but I'm telling you, it's something you want to see as well. The new, while we were there, it's the C5 C6 Bash, and I've had several people over the last 2 days say, Chad, what's a C5? Is that an explosive? No, let me explain. We are on the 6th edition of the Corvette. The Corvette has been through 6 distinct body styles. And this latest one, the 6, I think is by far the best. I really, and I'm sure there are people that disagree, and that's okay. I'm glad they disagree. I like somebody to like it all. But the point is, the one we have now looks very cool. All right, very cool. That is the C6. The C5 is the one before that, which ended in the 90s.
No, it ended in 04.
04, okay, so it went a little past then. And that style's okay. I liked it all right. The style before it I'm not very favorable on. The C4.
Yeah, the C4 ran through the 80s and most part of the 90s. And of course, that's where the ZR1 had its start and everything.
Yes.
Very good looking, attractive car.
I wouldn't turn one away.
Oh, heck no. I've rode in a couple. They're still very nice and very powerful.
So anyway, we went to the C5, C6 Bash, which is basically a birthday party, if you want to put it that, for the C6 and C5 editions of the Corvette. It's a huge rally. Cars come from all over the country. There were hundreds of vets there. Everywhere you went, there were vets.
I would say thousands of vets. You couldn't go a mile down the road without seeing a pack of 15 or 20 cars.
Everywhere you went to a restaurant, it was like vet, another car, vet, another car, vet.
Yeah, the only thing you had to break it up was a lot of people brought their Camaros down.
Yes.
Down to it too. So vet, Super Sport Camaro.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad car in sight.
And we'll get more on this Camaro relationship. The vet's kind of favorable on Camaro right now, and we'll explain why. But fantastic time. You get off the interstate. We got there, it was about 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning, something like that.
Something like that, their time.
Yeah. We pulled off the exit ramp, and immediately lined up as far as we could see to the stoplight. We were behind vets. My little Sebring felt very out of place. Yes. So we whipped in, drove up to the Corvette Museum where Katie, the marketing person there, she had set everything up for us beautifully. We felt so welcomed. It was just a great experience. Katie, if you watch this, thank you so much. We had a great time, and that went so much smoother than some places we go. So I'm telling you, it was fantastic. They gave us free run. We filmed everywhere. Inside the museum, we filmed outside the museum, we filmed in cars, we set in cars, the press conference, everything, all access, and we'll show you, it'll be about a 15-20 minute video or audio for the radio listeners that we'll be playing during this show after we're done talking about our trip there, because it was just great. Now, there are some things that didn't quite make it into that, or when I went to the editing, maybe the wind was too much in the mic. We used a new camera, and the wind really, it's got dual stereo mics, which is awesome. I mean, it really picks up, but when the wind blows, it's awesome because it picks up all the wind. So we'll have to learn something to deal with that.
Yeah, so if you watch the video and our words don't quite match up with the lips,
it's because we did some editing. Okay, but the fact is, it was awesome, and we want to get it played anyway, even if the audio isn't great. The whole experience, what I took back from that entire experience is not only is the vet a car, it's a lifestyle. They have developed this into, if you own a vet or you run with that vet club, you're part of something. And they make you feel part of it. From the factory managers that make the Corvette to the designers that design the Corvette in Detroit, they all welcome you into this Corvette family, and they even call it a family.
Yeah, and I mean, the cool thing that I was impressed with was the president of the Corvette division of General Motors was there, and you could talk to him and ask him questions.
The head designer, yes.
The head designer.
Engineer, the chief engineer.
Chief engineer, the interior designer guys.
Oh, there were lots of...
And they were just walking around, if you spotted them. They're not, I mean, just besides the press conference, you go, hey man, what's up with the exhaust this year? It sounds like crap. And I'll tell you what. Not that it sounds like crap, it was just a example of something fictional.
I just can't go on about how much they welcomed us into it, but just everyone there. And then the press conference at the end of it, they're just average people out there that own the car. What do you think about this? Do you have any questions about or are any concerns? And they would ask, you have people out there going, so how are we doing in the market? And is the Corvette going to be around to stay? And, with the market being down, this is an expensive car, what do you think? And they just answered it like he deserved the answer to that question. It wasn't like, why are you asking us big business questions when you're just a peon that bought one? No, he looked at them and said, we are very solvent. We are actually the leader in our segment, and they started throwing the numbers out, which blew me away. Absolutely blew me away.
Yeah, kind of put some of the European sports cars to shame a little bit. The sales numbers.
Oh, I know. It's in the segment. Just going down off the top of my head, you'll see that clip from this, and hear them talk about it a little bit in the video. But the Corvette was by far the largest of the segment at 28% of the market this year. So in the first quarter of this year, 28% of the luxury sports cars sold were Vettes.
And I mean, so after going, I've talked with people, and they say, well, yes, because you can buy it so much cheaper than the other ones. Maybe that's true, but if you consider $100,000 cheap, you probably need to loan me some money.
Loan it. Just give it. But then the Porsche 911 was the second in the segment for leading, and it was in the 20s as well, I believe, or right at 20. So it's a close competitor, and they treat that as the close competitor. But everything else, single digits. I mean, way down. And at the bottom of the barrel, really kind of hurt me. The Nissan GTR, one of my favorites, at the very bottom. It is not doing well in sales. And I don't know if Nissan wanted it that way since they make them by hand, the engines.
Yeah, the exclusivity is part of those cars that the Corvette doesn't achieve, because they want everyone to own a Corvette because you are the family. And a lot of the European sports cars too, and the GTR, they're exclusive. To get a supercar title, you can't just be rolled out of the factory all the time. So there's that argument too, but
a ZR1 is a supercar.
ZR1 is a supercar.
At 205 miles an hour, 600 and what horsepower? 600 and
I can't remember the exact total off my head right now.
but over 600 horsepower.
And the top speed, to keep in mind, the way Corvette averages it is different than the other models. Other makers say that their car does 235 because it at one point in time reached 235. The ZR1 can surpass 205
Easily in a sprint.
Easily.
Yeah.
But they average it out. They race it in different conditions all the time, and they take an average of cornering and everything. If 205 is a drivable average speed for the car, not just balls to the wall, did it one time.
Yes.
And that's what sets the top speed of a Corvette different from the other supercars in its class.
The way they said it's all done at sea level, it's very specific the way they get their top speed. And just thinking they put that much effort into keeping their top speed accurate makes me think, wow. If you ever go there and you're not a Corvette fan, I promise you will leave a Corvette fan, because you can't help. I mean, it's the whole American thing, the way the car's made, what they go through, everything about it is a good feeling. It's warm fuzzies.
Yeah, it's made in America, and the workers take pride in it.
Absolutely. The plant manager, by the way, Dave, was there, and very, very nice.
And then, like I said, they show you can get these little buyer experience packages when you buy the car. You can show up and watch them hand build your car. You can assemble the motor yourself. They give you a book of it being assembled. High quality photos throughout. You get a nice book, hardcover book showing everything.
At the end of the line, they set your butt in the seat. You put the first mile on it as you leave the factory in your car. And then they have a party for you over at the museum and have a Corvette, what do they call it? A Corvette release party,
in a little training class on how to drive it.
It's awesome. I mean, the whole experience is just incredible.
And in the next few years, you'll be able to drive it from the factory floor to the museum and then to the racetrack.
Yes, because they are putting in a Le Mans style track in Bowling Green. That is right. And this track will have a professional circuit around the outside and 2 amateur circuits that can be run simultaneously, where anyone can take any car to there and run your cars on the course safely to keep you from tearing up your vehicles.
And 2 full-size skid pads.
A drag course as well.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about the drag strip. A full, is it a mile and a half drag strip?
Yes. And what's funny, we were looking at the professional when we were like, oh, wow, I want to do that. But the fact is, the straight stretches are so long that they won't let amateurs on it, because they would be hitting that 205 mark, and then they don't know what they're going to do when they get to the curb. So.
And that won't be restricted to just Corvettes. That if you have a Mustang or a Camaro or a Sebring, you can take it to the track if you wanted to as well.
Now, that's a lot. Thanks for making me included, man. I appreciate it.
To be fair.
Look, here comes the Sebring. It's still coming. It's still coming. Oh, there it goes. Look, there's the ZR1. Let's go.
Makes me think of the scenic cars, the minivan with the mattress on top.
Yes. That's right. All right, let's get into a little bit about the reason we were there, though. All that was fun, but that wasn't the reason we were there. The reason we were there was for the release of the 2012 Corvette, which will be one of the last, if not the last, C6 version of the Vet. Is that correct?
Right, they were talking in the next 2 to 3 years that the C7 will be out. And They already have a pretty good design set out, the way they talk. They're keeping it very secretive, and you would find every now and then one of the designers would say something a little too much, and they'd go, whoa, 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 and really hush them up really quick.
And it was great talking to him. So anyway, the C6 version, now having the new 2012 edition of that, they've done a lot of changes on the 2012, and we're going to go through a few of those. So you'll see them on the video a little bit as well, but it flies by so fast, I want to talk about them in depth just a little more. The first thing in the 2012 you're going to notice is the grand release of the 100-year Centennial Edition of the Corvette. Now this is done in honor of Louis Chevrolet, who started the Chevrolet company. And the Corvette was not around when Louis Chevrolet started the company, but I'm telling you, if he was alive today as a race fan, this would be his favorite car in the line, no doubt. He really stood for racing, and they wanted to have something that really captured him. So they've got him in his driving glasses and his leather helmet,
His big old mustache.
his big mustache, and the way they've done the logo, it's got the 100 behind it. It looks really good, and you can get that on the center caps of the wheels, the center cap of the steering wheel, and also on the side of the car, you've got a little logo.
Yeah, and it's not obnoxious.
No, it looks great.
It's
It looks
very,
really good.
it's like a ghost image almost. When you hit the right angle, it lights up, but other than that, it's a black car.
Yeah, the Centennial Edition is only offered in black. Now, typically black is offered in all Corvettes, but Corvette did something really cool. They decided, we're going to make a Centennial Edition. This Centennial Edition isn't only for the top line Corvette, the ZR1. So you do not have to spend $115,000 to get one. The reason I say $115,000 is because the ZR1 cost about $109,000. And every time you talk to one of their marketing people, they said add 5, and they'll get you the Centennial Edition. So we're guessing that you add $5,000 to the cost of your car, and that would get you the Centennial. ZR1, you pay $115,000, you're thinking, oh my gosh. But the Centennial Edition is actually going to be offered in every version of the car. So from the CO6, the Grand Sport, and the ZR1 will have a Centennial Edition, meaning that it is available in black to everybody as long as you're willing to pay to get the Centennial Edition. I thought that was very nice.
Yes.
Because they could have made it very uber exclusive.
Yes.
Right?
But that's not what a Corvette's about.
No, it's not. We sit inside the car and looked all through it. It is so amazing.
I tried to steal one.
Some of the options on the 2012, we'll just get right into those since pretty much it's the same powerhouse, same powertrain, everything mechanically pretty much the same. But they have added in some things that have actually made the car better. One is they've added the ceramic disc, the ceramic rotors. And these rotors are lifetime for the car.
Yeah, that's one thing we didn't talk about while we were there, but they are good for the entire lifetime of the car. You never need to change rotors. You may go through 1,200 brake pads, never change the rotors. They'll never warp, nothing.
Also, a new wheel design, which really stands out. It's an awesome wheel design. And what they go through...
Actually, 2 new wheel designs. One comes on the car and one that you have to buy aftermarket. Both are very cool.
It has the black wheel has a red stripe around it. And it's all so precise and weight balanced that they actually paint the entire wheel red, then paint it black, then mill off thousandths of an inch of paint so that the red shows again. That's how precise they're doing it. It's just so awesome to think about that. But we're going to have to take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more, and then when we show... Hello and welcome back. You're listening to Tech Talk with Chad Hembree. Once again, joining me in Mario's Pizza and Bria, Mr. Dean Buttry.
Hola.
Once again, we will be here at Mario's 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday evenings. Please come and join us. We'd love to have you in the live audience.
And don't think it's just pizza either.
No. Mario's has everything you want on the menu. They've got Mexican. They've got the best hamburgers in town. They've got pizza. They've got sandwiches. You name it, you'll be satisfied.
So you come here and eat and use us as an excuse.
There you go. We've been talking about our trip to Bowling Green to the C5, C6 Bash and the release of the 2012 Vet. We just finished talking about the new brake rotors and the wheels. Now let's move on to the tire.
Well, the special tire also has the same style wheel, but a special wheel too. They're made by Michelin. They're called Cub wheels and tires, and they are a blend of street tire and racing slick. It's a blend of street tire, so it's street legal. It actually looks like two tires put together. We'll have a picture later on, but they're hugely expensive. But they make this car. I'll let you do this. They make this car very, very unique.
Yes, because with these tires in combination and everything put together, if you take a ZR1 Vet, you put these wheels and tires on it, you run it from the factory, no additions, no extras. Right now, testing shows 1.13 lateral Gs, skid Gs. That's an unbelievable number. Just 10 years ago, they thought 1 was unachievable. They're at 1.13. And they think there's a good chance it's going to go up, not down. Which means the ZR1 will be the quickest cornering car in the world.
Yes. Very, very impressive. And then now they're also throwing in the magnetic ride control where it adjusts your suspension for even better handling. So that may drive the numbers up even more.
I think, wow, I mean, for that title to be looking at to come into America, to be on an American car, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I'd like to see Jeremy Clarkson talk about this one.
Oh, I can't wait till it is. All right, so moving on from the tires, also, let's get into the tech of the car. The stereo system on this car is incredible because they have added 2 more speakers, now making it a 9-speaker stereo system by Bose in the Corvette.
Yes, 9 speakers and with 2 10-inch subwoofers in both door panels. So you have 9 speakers and 2 subs in a cab space a little bit bigger than this table.
Yes.
Tweeters up on the bead pillars, and it brings the whole sound stage up. One of the complaints actually in the past few models was, even though it's a Bose sound system, it sounded very dull and just very...
It sounded like the sound was behind you.
Dad.
Yeah, it sounded like it really was behind
Dad,
you.
that's why we're here.
Why are you here?
To eat.
To eat. My son just walked in. Like you said, we're live at Mario, so things can happen. My son just walks in and says, "Hey, Dad, we're here to eat." That's great. We'll leave that. That's cute. So anyway, the whole idea of an American car performing on that level is just phenomenal.
Yes, it is. So you have the new sound system, and then I mentioned briefly about the new magnetic ride control. And what that allows you to do is they have like a snow setting, a track setting, rain, pavement.
Idea that you were talking about earlier with the sound is that it sounded like it was coming behind you, and now it's up on your level, and it all sounds really good. The nav system, we didn't get to play with it. I was disappointed.
They had none of the key fobs. We couldn't start it. I tried. None of the accessories worked. We could just make the screen go up and down. That was it. But from what they say, it's supposed to be very, very impressive and upgraded over the past year. Of course, it also ties in. It's got a full DVD system, so you can watch movies while you're doing 205.
No, it won't play video while you're engaged in gear. I didn't say there wasn't a way around it. I said that it won't play video while it's in gear. Thank God it won't play video. I can see it now.
Hot for teacher.
Oh man, they just killed Obama. Wow. No, Obama.
Kill Obama. You sound like you were from Fox News.
How about Osama is what I meant to say. Oh, shoot, that's funny. Obama killed Osama. How's that? He didn't do it directly, but they had the video cams, you know. Makes me think like the president's...
Playing Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's right. Call of Duty Real Edition. Turn left, turn right, fire. Shoot, 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 shoot.
Oh, I got Osama, I'm on the game.
That's right.
Second term, here I come.
You think you got a free life for that one? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's like
extra man.
Getting the cherry.
Anyway, the other upgrades included in the car are not really so tech oriented. So we'll talk about them very quickly. What thread choices? I mean, seriously.
Yeah, very nice though. The thread definitely stands out.
And what we're talking about is the thread that they sew the leather together to in the car, you know, that holds the dashboard together, the seats, the stitching, all that. You can get it a custom color. It's like if you had a black car, they have the red stitching in it, and it looks pretty darn awesome.
Yes, it does.
But whoever thought about custom stitching in a car? I mean, seriously. And then over top of that, you've got the carbon inserts you can get right for the dash.
Carbon fiber dash kit. A fully suede leather wrapped steering wheel with these little, they call them hamsters. It looks like a snake swallowing hamsters. Little bumps, all custom stitched and everything, and it feels, I mean, it's padded. It feels amazing.
It feels like you want to be gripping that thing and driving, right?
Yeah, and they put the suede leather on the gear shift too. So I'm sitting here just feeling the gear shift like I was driving. Like, man, my Mustang feels nothing like this.
Well, there you go. Also, the caliper, brake caliper choices, you actually can pick the color of your caliper, and the way the new wheel's designed, you can see that very nicely through the wheel. And they will have reserved color still. If you get a ZR1, you can still get the blue, but if you don't buy a ZR1, blue is not an option for any of the others. So there are certain exclusivities.
Yeah.
But overall, you get a lot of choices.
Right. Especially if you get the Grand Sport.
Yeah. 10 colors of paint choice on the outside. How many cars offer 10 color choices? And on the inside, they offer that many as well, 10 interior choices.
It's very impressive.
It's one of the most customizable cars on the road.
We should get
You can truly make it yours. No, pink wasn't one of the 10. Thank you very much. The Barbie edition has not been made yet. I'm sure someone's custom made a Barbie edition, but the Barbie edition, that's not coming out to the C7. C7 Barbie edition.
Or Avon. Imagine that Avon column.
Well, Mary Kay, don't they have the pink cars?
There's a Mary Kay.
Yeah.
But I'm a dude, I don't know about makeup.
I'm proud of you, man. I'm not proud of me for knowing that. Okay, fantastic time there, and now I believe we've talked enough that it's time to show the video or play the audio from it. Anyway, for our radio audience, what you'll be seeing and hearing is the entire day condensed into about 15-20 minutes. We hope you enjoy it, and I know we certainly did.
So how did we condense it? Are we going really, really fast?
No. I'm just telling you that by the time you cut out all the jokes, and I left a few of the jokes in, by the way. I do want to thank Bradley for going with us. Brad was with us all day, hung like a real trooper as our cameraman, and I know we were wearing him out. You know, up high, down low, no, this angle, no, get the shot closer. I know we bossed him around all day long. He took it like a real trooper, and we're very, very happy to have him working with us now on the Tech Talk crew. But anyway, without further ado, here is our day at the C5 C6 Bash. Welcome to Tech Talk. I'm Chad Hembree, and with me is Dean Letry, and we're at the National Corvette Museum
In Bowling Green, Kentucky.
We are like kids in a candy store. We are having a blast. This is the C5 C6 Bash, where people rally to support the Corvette and the Corvette manufacturing plant, which is right here in Bowling Green. Now, at this event, it was very nice to see the introduction of the 2012 line of Corvettes, which features
Many great additions and improvements. You have quicker paddle shifts, an all-new tech package. You get all redesigned Bose stereo system, new brakes, magnetic ride control, traction control, everything you want new and improved.
One thing I really like is that this is the 100th anniversary of Chevrolet, and to honor that, they have a Centennial version, and we'll have lots of pictures of that showing throughout this show, and lots of extras that are available on that car alone. I do like a lot of the tech features that they've put into the new car as well. They've went from a 7-speaker system to a 9-speaker system, like you said, Bose.
With two 10-inch subwoofers in the door.
Awesome. That is awesome. The lower range is expanded, the high range is expanded. They've actually raised the comfort zone of sound up to your face, not down. You know, you sit in a lot of cars and it just sounds like the sounds behind you or underneath your way. Now it's up in your face. Love it. Absolutely love it. What a breakthrough.
Now, all new exhaust, the NPP exhaust, that makes it sound a lot deeper and aggressive without an aftermarket system. Just, I mean, ceramic brakes on the Z06, which you couldn't get before.
And a world of other options. We're going to be here all day. We'll be broadcasting from different places throughout the museum and the different events. Stay with us for more tech news.
Apologize for the delay, folks. Technical difficulties we had prepared. We're going to show you all the pictures of the C7, but unfortunately the security codes of the computer are not compatible with the projector, so someday we'll figure that out and we'll do that for you. But actually what we're trying to do is normally to skip the commercials when you're watching TV, and we may have to skip them here today, but we have started to air some Corvette commercials. We don't spend a ton of money promoting Corvette on national television, but we have shown up in a few ads, and so if you hadn't gotten a chance to see them, we want to run through a couple before we start our presentation.
Usually when a car maker turns one of its models into a race car, they have to add power. But when Chevrolet wanted to race the 638 horsepower Corvette ZR1 against Porsche, Ferrari, and BMW, we were asked to dial it back. Oh, about 168 horsepower. You know, just to be fair.
Pretty good, eh? But even some non-automotive media is kind of coming to the realization that, hey, the Corvette is a pretty special car. You can see who we beat here. The Z06 Corvette was quicker than the Lamborghini Murcielago LP670-4 SV. So that's a lot of letters. There's a lot of numbers on the price tag of that vehicle.
And you can see Corvette, we call the luxury sports car segment. It's clearly first place so far for the first quarter this year.
Okay, we are sitting in a Grand Sport convertible at the moment, and we're going to show off a few things because this one has the actual tech package in it.
Yes, the tech package is very impressive this year. We got a full on-screen HUD, which I don't think we're going to be able to see in this daylight. A new nav system, upgraded buttons on the steering wheel, built-in Bluetooth, and not to mention the upgraded Bose surround sound system. And then, while we're inside of the car, we can also talk about the upgraded interior variants too.
Okay.
Starting with the interior features of the car, you have OnStar, which every GM product has. They didn't remove that. But then you're going to start with the new interior trim level. Everything's moved to a soft leathery feel, suede, just very nice to the touch. The steering wheel has been completely wrapped in this material. The previous models, they had like a plasticky carbon fiber little plastic piece down at the bottom. They've added these little, what they nicknamed in the conference, they called them hamsters. It looks like a snake eating a hamster. Just little bumps on the steering wheel, you can hold it better. But one thing that immediately jumps off about this new interior is the custom colored threading. If you got a red car with, you know, brown interior, tan, you can get red threading to match. Or if you got a blue car, you can get blue threading to match in your black leather interior. It really pops the leather off amazingly. It's so nice. And then they top it off with carbon fiber accents around the new nav system. It's just so great. Talking about the steering wheel again, one thing that they've done is add custom badges in the center. This is a pretty common Chevrolet steering wheel. If you've been in a Camaro or a new model car, or even a Pontiac, it's the same. They couldn't touch it due to federal regulations. They had to stay the same. They couldn't even change the grain on the airbag area. But one thing they did to make it nicer in the middle was add a custom little logo for your car. So if you have a ZR1, you're going to have a matching logo in color and design for your car. So this is a Grand Sport, and right now it has the Grand Sport logo with the red accents because of the red accents in the car. If you get the Centennial Edition, it'll have Lewis Chevrolet in it with the 100th year anniversary logo. So it's just small little accents that they did this year to really set your car off and to be different than every other Corvette on the road.
Dean, this is the standard wheel that we see on a lot of Corvettes. Now this one's pretty dirty. This one's been out on the road a little bit, but I wanted to point out a couple of things before we go over to the Carbon Edition to show you what improvements have been made available to standard street cars, which is pretty awesome, by the way. But this is your standard see-through here, and this is the older style wheel. But right here you can see the brake caliper. They've actually got 4 different options of colors now you can get on the brake calipers. Now some will still be reserved. For instance, the blue is only reserved for the ZR1. But if you wanted a different color of the ZR1, the option's there.
Nice.
Now Dean, this is actually the new style wheel. And you can see the same existing style brake rotor. And the caliper in this one being gray colored. We're here with the Carbon Edition of the new Corvette for 2012, and we wanted to show off a few things about this, but first of all, we're going to start with this massive brake rotor in here.
Yes, they're huge, 16-inch ceramic brake rotors. It gives the car a stopping distance of 100 feet from 0 to 60. It's like ripping your face off. You're going to be you're suspended weightlessly in the seatbelt. It's like you're working for NASA.
So here you go. You want to be an astronaut? This is what you need. It'll suspend you right out there, hanging on for life. I love this thing. Well, we've got more as we're here at the C5 C6 Bash. All right, Dean and I are now here at one of the Centennial Edition Z06s. This is actually a 505 horsepower Centennial Edition. You can tell this by the several badging options around it, but one is right here in the middle of the wheel. You've got this nice center badge. Now, tell us about these tires, Dean.
These are the new Michelin Cup tires. They are designed for the track. This is an additional option. You have special rims that are balanced already on the front and the back side to reduce even the balancer. And as you can see, I don't know from the camera shot, they're a combination of street tire and racing silk,
making them legal,
making them street legal. But the most impressive thing this does with the car is it gives it a 1.13 lateral G skid rating, making this possibly the best cornering car in the world. You have 1G going forward, you have 1.13G going sideways while remaining in control of the vehicle.
That is awesome.
That's very cool.
And that's in combination with these new wheels. Now one thing I noticed on these wheels is it actually has a Chevrolet logo inside here. And that has added weight to one side of the wheel. But what that is actually doing is counterbalancing the tire pressure sensor, which is on the other side.
And helping to eliminate additional wheel balance weights that you would normally put on a car and ruin the look. And possibly sling up.
This is where racing meets street. This is actually the Z06X Street Racing Concept Car. Now this car will never see legal use on the road, but it has become so popular that Corvette is considering producing these cars for sale.
Yeah, just for you track lovers out there.
Everything they put in this car could eventually make it into the street car. And this is one of the first cars they actually tested and cut tires.
Yes.
We're now inside the Corvette Museum. where you can see you've already got some pretty awesome cars just to greet you as you come in the door. One thing I was noticing is 1984 spinning there in the window. I was okay with it until I saw the antique plates on the car. It's a stark reminder of how old I'm getting these. We're actually in the Grand Hall of the museum. There's lots of things going on here, a wonderful store. He's going to pan around here and show you what all there is in this room, which right now there's a convention going on. So there are several people in here and several booths. So we're going to head on inside the museum momentarily. We're now inside the Corvette Museum, and the first thing we ran into was this 1956 model, I believe, yeah, 56 model. And Dean, the reason I stopped here is, this isn't really tech talk material, but I had a funny story. We were in a parade, and I was helping marshal the parade, and I had a golf cart. Well, they neglected to tell me that the golf cart didn't have working brakes. We came down this steep hill. On the front of the golf cart, it had one of these metal spikes that you put a spare tire on. No tire, just the spike. I went down that hill so fast, I ran into the back of a very similar model to this Corvette right here. The spike went all the way through the bumper, and I was attached to the car.
And you're still alive? The guy didn't kill you?
The owner got out, walked around, asked me was I okay, and then laughed his tail off. You know why? The real bumper had been sent off for re-chroming. This was just something he had stuck on there for the parade. Now, what is the luck for that?
That's some luck. I would have beat you.
Yes, absolutely. So we're going to go on through the rest of the museum now. We've now made it further into the museum, and one thing that caught my attention is how awesome the scenery is. I mean, it looks like a little city in here, but this 33-cent gas is a big-time reminder, with gas passing $4 a gallon now.
That's for premium. It's 29 cents for regular.
29 cents for regular, so yeah, awesome. Also, there is a 55 convertible over here that I think is incredible.
Yeah. I mean, cars now are cool. They don't make that.
That's super cool. Yeah.
That's bad, cool. But I catch myself.
All right, we've got a lot more museum to cover. We're now standing in front of a mock-up of a 1960s model dealership, and wow, wouldn't you take any of those home? We're now in a section of the museum that actually features design from the Corvette and General Motors manufacturing. There's lots of things here to see, all the way from how they design the body panels to how they design the interior, the engine, everything. And there are several really cool concept cars that you'll be seeing here. We're now in the interactive portion of the museum, where Dean here is trying the skills running the drag race. In the interactive section, you also find things like this, and if there's a computer around, I'll be using it. We are now inside the Hall of Fame, where it's a shrine basically to those who have helped push the Corvette brand beyond just a car, but into a lifestyle as well.
Not only in the Hall of Fame will you find the game-changing Corvettes, but you'll also find pictorials of game-changing individuals who helped shape the brand of Corvette.
There are so many cars here at the Corvette National Museum, and I was a child of the 80s, and I'm not disappointed. We're still standing inside the Hall of Fame, and behind us we have the 1.5 millionth Corvette to roll off the line, which happened in 2009.
After starting at 53 with this model.
Currently at the National Corvette Museum, they are featuring something that is very near and dear to Dean's heart, and that's the American muscle car.
Oh yeah. I'm a Mustang guy, but I want a Corvette, and we're both drop-top guys, so what do you think about this?
Well, Dean, I've had a wonderful day here at the C5, C6 Bash, and I think I have only improved my of being a Corvette fan.
It's killer, I'm a huge Mustang guy, but I want me a Corvette right now. Actually, this one.
You want to take this one?
I want this one.
Well, thanks for joining us. This has been Tech Talk with Chad Hembree. We've been live at the C5, C6 Bash here in Bowling Green at the National Corvette Museum. Join us for more tech news.
Oh no! What is that? It's Godzilla and King Kong!
And like Dean, that was over in a few seconds. Waiting for a motorcycle.
Okay, with custom color etching. This one we have a red, stop it. And then you get custom color, what is the, I can't say the word. Threading. Yeah, when I get down to it, I want to say, is the custom color threading. Whatever those guys say. Ready?
You know, in the object of the drag race, you go straight.
Beep beep.
We had a great time. I'm going to get off the Corvette now because I've seen the video now. Please give us some feedback on that. Tell us what you think about us covering that. We're going to try to do that at more events and at more places.
Yes, because this show is filmed like a virgin for the very first time.
Okay, Madonna, let's go. It's time for the news. Now, starting off in the news, first of all, Osama bin Laden's dead.
Not Obama.
Not Obama, but no, Obama put him there. Yeah, that's good. That's a good thing. All right, Osama bin Laden, gone, dead. We are not buying into the conspiracies. He's dead. All right, you want to argue us on that? That's fine. You want to have conspiracy theories? That's fine. You're worried about seeing pictures of a dead, gruesome body? That's fine. Don't care. Don't want to see it myself. But anyway, I'm not buying into it. He's dead.
That's all that matters really anyways, is if people believe he's dead.
Dropped off the boat.
Yep.
All right, Nintendo drops the price of the Wii, $149.
That's very good news.
That's very, very good news because the Wii is still a good machine.
Yep.
Not an awesome machine, but a good machine.
Bigger for small children.
For $149, it's a great machine.
Yeah.
Considering what you get. You had a story about BlackBerry?
Yes, the new BlackBerry BES version is going to now encompass iPhones, iPads, and Android devices. So I guess BlackBerry is finally coming to the realization that even in the enterprise market, they are not top dog anymore. So as their phones lose more and more steam, they're in an awkward OS transitional period right now. A new tablet that just released that really kind of flopped. They said, you know what? We're going to have our enterprise software and give our enterprise security to other devices and start selling licenses for that. So I think this really could be BlackBerry's second life. If their phones die off, they're still going to be relevant with mobile device security.
We'll see.
Yeah, because now you can do, because there's limited remote light functionality and stuff with Windows devices, which they're talking about adding that too. But now you can really restrict what applications are installed, do remote wipes. You can configure them on the fly. Say if a new person gets it, you give them your EMIE number, and you can join it to the company network. Bam, you can configure that Android or iOS device with email and everything on the fly, so that these devices didn't have that.
So, well, it is value added.
It is value added. Just my
So BlackBerry is a VAR.
Do what?
As a VAR. The value added reseller.
Okay, that's
All right. The Sony, we talked about them last week. Apparently no Americans.
No, they did release 10,700 debit accounts were actually hacked. It's a growing number. That was the number that I got when I looked yesterday. So far, no American accounts have been hacked. As far as credit, debit information, your email address and everything else is compromised. But so far, American bank account information hasn't been confirmed as hacked. Only stuff in Asia, Europe, and I guess that's really the only two continents over there.
Okay. Whatever. So the point is that no one in America had their debit card hacked out that. But they still had to do without gaming for 7 days.
Right, it's still down. I tried last night, it's still down.
Oh, it's still down.
It's still down.
What a joke.
And like I said, the number's growing.
Dang it. I really like you, but you got to tell this next one here. I'm not staying.
The iPhone? Okay, so the new iPhone white release, and pretty much the reviews, it's the same phone, except it's now white, it's thicker, and won't fit. So that's what she said. No, apparently it is thicker than most iPhone devices. So if you have a case for your iPhone 4 or anything like that, it will not fit. So just remember that it is thicker and won't fit. But I'm cheap.
That's the way I'm hoping.
And to speak, while we're on iPhone, we'll just go ahead and keep going with it. The new iOS operating system update has released 4.3.3, and the end of location tracking, at least as we know it, has ceased to exist as soon as you update your iPhone or iPad device.
And the next two stories are pretty low, and I don't like to end the show on a low, so I'm going to go through these very quick and then try to come up with something positive. But the first thing is Apple has passed Microsoft in sales for the first time ever.
Yeah, that's gross and net.
Yeah. So anyway, moving on. The next one is Comcast has decided to put a limit on home users for what they can download. Fortunately, it's 250 gigs, which most people won't hit.
AT&T, which we have in Richmond, is 150.
Netflix users, beware.
Yes, with their strategy, and they're very public about it, is because these two companies are trying to get the whole cap and fees on Netflix and YouTube users. Saying that you have to pay more if you're a Netflix subscriber, if you're an excessive YouTube subscriber. So they are positioning themselves to be on the forefront of this. Because when they ever get that fast, they'll have it in place. So, and a little disappointment. I hope that doesn't make it anywhere.
Yeah, me too. Of course, I still get my DVDs too, so that's all right.
Yeah, but certain individuals like me who get their media through other means.
Well, whatever. All right, last story. Internet Explorer. You can now delete the cookies from Flash sites. That was a big deal because the viruses can get in those things, and especially with Adobe and their horrible track record of security. That's something you were just continually leaving in your computer, and you couldn't get rid of it.
Yep.
So, very happy to see that. Well, Dean, that's it for the news section. You did have a quick app you wanted to talk about, and I think we've got 2 minutes left if you want to try to get that in.
Yep. If we have time, we may do another little segment. But the app that I want to talk about is Dropbox. Apparently, it's been around for a little bit, and it's been off my radar. And I have the new Ubuntu, was just released 3 days ago, installed, and I started using this. What Dropbox is, it's like Windows Live Mesh. It syncs your data on the fly, but it's very seamless, and it goes across every platform. I have it on my phone, I have it on my Linux installation, Windows, Mac, iPad, anything you possibly can imagine. You can sync files to pictures. You can retrieve them. You can, say like actually I've been using it like it was really heavy this week. It's at a customer site, and I forgot to bring their invoice with me. I got on Dropbox, found it, emailed them from my phone, from a file that was located on my laptop, and got the invoice while I was sitting there.
All right, so great file sharing. That's Dropbox. I've actually used it on my PC, but I didn't have it on the phone or anything, so I'm very glad to know that. We've been listening to Tech Talk with Chad Hembree. I want to thank Dean Buttrick for joining me. We're live at Mario's Pizza. You can find us on the web at www.chadhembree.com. That's CHADHEMBREE.com. Also, thank Dean Buttrick and his company, DB Solutions, for being a sponsor. I want to thank Virtual Margie. You can find her on virtualmargie.com, one of our sponsors. She is a virtual assistant. It's really cool stuff. Another time I'll talk about it more, but just check it out. If you're needing an employee for your business, this is a way to go to get it a lot cheaper and get some really qualified help. Also, I want to thank Linton Cole Associates. They do some web design for us, and along with Mario's Pizza. Once again, we said you can get about any kind of food you want here, and they have really good service. So thanks for joining us. Join us next week for more tech news.